Hey there, Carnage Cravers. Welcome back to Carnage Corner for another episode of KKWR. We're going to go over what has happened this week in professional wrestling. And we're going to start with Wednesday's NXT, because I like to start at the end and work my way forward. So, that being said, NXT. Go ahead and set that up right there. NXT opened up with William Regal making an announcement concerning the NXT Women's Championship, announcing that there would be a fatal four-way match at TakeOver Houston to decide the new NXT Women's Champion. Also saying there would be matches in the coming weeks from which he would decide what women would participate in said fatal four-way. So we're going to get a new NXT Women's Champion at NXT Houston. If you haven't been paying attention to what's been going on and you're wondering what happened to Asuka, Asuka injured her collarbone. Asuka will be re-debuting for the Raw brand this time at TLC next month. So we can all look forward to that. So, after Regal makes his announcement and all that, Sanity comes out to the ring. Sanity had some rather strong words for Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. From there, we went into our first match of the evening, which was Lars Sullivan versus Oney Lorcan, however the hell you pronounce it. Lars won that match, but oh my god, Lars is... You know, the booking of this match, Lars looks like a damn monster. And, I mean, it's so impressive, so ferocious. Like, I'm sitting there and I'm watching, and it's like, you know, this guy, you know, eventually they're going to bring him up to the main roster. And this is a guy who would be able to have some really, good matches. He's got the size and the speed and the intensity. You put him in the ring with guys like, you know, Braun or Brock or Roman Reigns or anybody. I mean, he's not at that level yet, but I can definitely see him getting there. He has all the tools. It's just a matter of time. So I'm really excited to see what goes on with Lars Sullivan moving forward. Heavy Machinery came out and they defeated a team of jobbers. I barely caught the names of these two individuals. One of them, I guess, is a former NFL football player. Who friggin' cares? Move on from there. Had an interview with Roderick Strong. Roddy wants a shot at the NXT Championship. He's going to get a shot at the NXT Championship next week on NXT. It'll be Roddy Strong versus Drew McIntyre. That should be a good match. I don't like Roddy's chances. I think Drew's going to be holding on to that piece of gold for a while. That being said, moving on from there, then we had a women's match, Liv Morgan versus Vanessa Bourne. Good match. The women's wrestling has really stepped up in the recent years. It was a good match. It's, you know, clear that they still need a little bit of polishing, but all in all, I mean, they put on a great match. Liv Morgan walked away with the win. All right. And then, of course, we went into an interview with Aleister Black. And they were interviewing Aleister Black concerning the actions of the Velveteen Dream last week. And Aleister gave a rather cryptic response, but the long and short of it, talking about how there's always somebody who thinks they are more unique than the next person. And I liked what he said about how he will not submit or entertain the demands of a child stamping its feet and holding its breath, which basically saying that Velveteen Dream is just looking for attention and he has no plans on giving it to him, which is good because you don't need to be mixed up with that crazy. You need to be moving on to work with Drew McIntyre for the NXT title. That's what you need to be doing. So from there, moving forward, we have Fabian Aichner. We had Fabian taking on Cassius Ohno. Ohno won this match, and I think this is actually an example of name meaning more than skill, because I felt like Fabian put on the better performance in the match. But, for whatever reason, they want to push Cassius Ohno. People seem to be really high on this guy. I'm not impressed, so, I don't know. But, that being said, we then went into an interview with Drew McIntyre, who is looking forward to his match with Roderick Strong. And the last part of the evening was the in-ring debut of Adam Cole. Cole came out with Fish and O'Reilly and cut himself a promo, and then Adam Cole went one-on-one with Eric Young, with Sanity at ringside, along with Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. It did not take long for Anarchy to break out in the match, Adam Cole taking advantage of said anarchy to score the pin, and Cole wins his debut match on NXT. So, now we're going to go backward. We're going to go back another 24 hours or so. We're going to talk about 205 Live. 205 Live opened up with Enzo coming out on a crutch, all beat up after the beatdown he had received on the closing moments of Monday Night Raw. And I'm just now realizing this is one instance where not doing Raw first is actually probably a bad idea. But that being said, let's move forward. Anyways, so Enzo came out on a crutch, and he's cutting his promo because Neville attacked him, yada, 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 yada. So, that being said, Enzo showed footage showing that his injuries were not just from Neville. After Neville left the ring, Braun Strowman came out. He squashed Enzo twice. And then all of the cruiserweights, every cruiserweight in the division hit the ring and proceeded to hit their finish on Enzo at least once. So that's why Enzo's all messed up. And it's also why Enzo doesn't have to let any of them have a shot at the Cruiserweight title. Because Enzo got a clause signed from Kurt Angle, a no-contact clause, that basically means that if any Cruiserweight laid a hand on him during his celebration, they would forfeit their right to a Cruiserweight title match. They all did it. He doesn't have to give them a shot at the title, which is leading me to believe we have a new Cruiserweight on the way. I don't know who it could possibly be, but we're going to have a new Cruiserweight debut, who will then have the right to challenge and will eventually take that belt off of Enzo, because obviously somebody's going to get a shot. But that being said, I have no idea who that could be as of yet. I'm interested to see, though. I really am. So, that being said, moving forward again, we open up with Tozawa versus Tony Nese, with Gulak on commentary. Tozawa ends up winning this match, leading to a Gulak cutting a promo on him and trying to continue his PowerPoint presentation. And Tozawa, he takes exception to this, and he decides that he just wants to drop Drew Gulak, and does so. But we go backstage. Daivari is apologizing, literally groveling before Enzo, trying to get on his good side. And Enzo decides that he's going to accompany Daivari out to his match with Neville later that night. TJP comes out and cuts a promo on why he attacked Rich Swann last week. And Swann comes running out and he attacks TJP, and TJ takes a powder. So, right before the main event of the show, Neville comes out. Neville cuts a promo saying that he doesn't regret a damn thing, that he'd do it again and again and again and again. And Enzo comes out with Daivari. Daivari has his match with Neville. Enzo is Enzo doing his loudmouth thing from ringside. Neville wins the match, and Enzo attacks him with a crutch, before taking his powder and getting away. But it's it's one of those things that we've literally seen a heel turn by Enzo Amore. And it's funny, so many people might still want to root for Enzo or like Enzo, but it's hard to still want to root for Enzo or like Enzo at this point, because he's he's cheating, and he's getting things he does not deserve because he does not have the ability. The ability to run one's mouth does not equate to the ability to perform in the ring. Okay? If it did, Vince Russo would be WWE champion. How you doing? So moving on from there, we're going to go ahead and talk about SmackDown. Get rid of that right now. So we'll go ahead and talk about SmackDown. SmackDown opened up with another loudmouth who came out, but this one can wrestle. That'd be Kevin Owens. So Kevin Owens came out, he's cutting his promo, and he's talking all about Shane and Vince and this and that. Sami Zayn comes out to try and talk sense into Kevin Owens, like Sami Zayn has any sense to begin with. But that being said, back and forth, insult. You know how that shit goes. So, right when they're about to fight, they've dropped their microphones. Looks like they're going to throw down. Daniel Bryan comes out to make some matches. So, Daniel, he tells us that Shane McMahon is... he tells him that Shane McMahon is not there. And he does not know if he's going to be later or not. But he makes the main event Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens for later that night. So, we then go into a match between Baron Corbin and Ty Dillinger. And it wasn't officially for #1 contendership of the U.S. title, but it's kind of unofficially for it, because these are the two guys who've been going back and forth trying to get their hands on AJ's title. So, while that's going on, AJ was at ringside. Corbin ended up winning by count out after, he slapped water into AJ's face. AJ stood up, and Corbin threw Dillinger into AJ, and they both went over the announce table. Dillinger unable to answer the count of 10 to get back in the ring, and Corbin wins. AJ goes after Corbin. It's, they got a little brawl going on. Corbin gets, he gets out of the ring, and Corbin makes, basically issues a challenge to AJ Styles for Hell in a Cell, which is next Sunday. Not this Sunday, but next Sunday. So, and that was not made official. It was made official after the fact, but we are going to get Baron Corbin versus AJ Styles for the United States Championship at Hell in a Cell. Now, this is one of those things where I'm reluctant to make a prediction, because while I've been very open saying AJ Styles probably my favorite performer on the roster today, I know that Vince McMahon is very, very high on Baron Corbin. So the possibilities of Baron Corbin becoming United States Champion are pretty good, especially seeing as how it's always more money to have a heel champion and a chasing babyface. Now, if they wanted to make Corbin and Ty Dillinger, if you wanted to make both of these competitors through this, Baron has to beat AJ. He can do it by cheating, he can do it underhandedly, but he has to beat AJ. And then you can move Corbin as United States Champion into working with Ty Dillinger and have these guys have war after war after war after war, with Dillinger finally, maybe at WrestleMania, finally winning the United States Championship. Hey, you got yourself a feel-good moment for Ty Dillinger, and Baron Corbin has had a chance to build himself up as a badass heel leading into this. It works. It's good. And you can move AJ into working with somebody else, preferably for the world title, but not necessarily having to be. So that being said, let's go ahead and get back on my notes here. Okay, so after the challenge was made, Jinder Mahal comes out with his two little lackeys and proceeds to make fun of Shinsuke Nakamura some more. Shinsuke actually comes out this time. Shinsuke takes out the Singh brothers, and he hits Jinder Mahal with the Kinshasa, and of course they take their powder, and Shinsuke is left standing tall. We have one more SmackDown before Hell in a Cell. I'm iffy. On one hand, I know how popular Shinsuke is. I'm sure the WWE will be taking that into account, but at the same time, popularity is not always enough. Shinsuke is great in the ring, but if Vince doesn't believe that he is a marketable champion, if he doesn't believe that he can slap the title on him and that sell posters and sell merchandise, Vince might not do it. So I would like to see Shinsuke get his time as WWE champion, but at the same time, right now, Jinder Mahal is proving to be very, very marketable. He is, as a heel holding the title, he actually has more value right now than Shinsuke does as a babyface holding the title. Because right now, as long as Jinder's got the belt, the majority of WWE fans, they want to see him lose it. You know, they want to see somebody take it from him. They're literally tuning in so they can see somebody beat him. And you're over at that point. You know, like, so as popular as Shinsuke is, I'm not sure which way Vince is going to go. I don't know which way he'll think is better. Okay, so it's one of those things. I would like to see Shinsuke get his shot. But I don't know how realistic that is at this point. So, that being said, right before commercial break, the New Day comes out. Have I ever told you guys how much I hate the New Day? I hate the New Day. I hate this gyrating gaggle of goofs. Okay? They're a babbling, bumbling bunch of baboons, and I cannot stand them. That being said, after we come back from the break, we got the Usos versus the Hype Bros with the New Day standing in the front row. The Usos win their match, and then they go down to ringside to cut a promo on the New Day. The New Day pull a microphone out of their popcorn. Nope, I didn't make that up. That actually happened. They pulled a microphone out of their popcorn so that they could cut their promo. I don't know who told them this kind of stuff is entertaining. It's not. It's stupid. I mean, it's stupider than what they have Breeze and Fandango doing for the Fashion Files. A lot stupider. You know, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, Fashion Files are stupid, but at least they made me laugh. This is just, it's just stupid. It's not funny. I definitely want to see the Usos take the tag titles off of the New Day. Then the New Day can, you know, go skydiving in Grand Canyon without a parachute for all I care. If I never see them again, it'll be too damn soon. That being said, moving forward, that's right. The important part of this promo is Tiger Woods. What the hell? Xavier Woods says that basically made the challenge that he wanted their title match to be a Hell in a Cell match. So here's the question: in a Hell in a Cell match, which two of the New Day are going to go inside and which one's going to stay on the outside of the Hell in a Cell? Because you can't have all three of them in there, because then you just have a 3-on-2 handicap match. And, you know, these are supposed to be the good guys. Aren't these supposed to be the good guys? Are the good guys supposed to have a gang mentality today? Is that what we call good guys today? It's a little stupid. It's more than a little stupid. It's actually a lot stupid. And the fact that people actually still cheer for the New Day when they act like complete and total shitheels is frustrating as a fan. So, that being said, now we will move on away from the gyrating gaggle of goofs to Aiden English, another goof, performing as the master of ceremonies for the Bulgarian Key to the City tournament. No, not tournament. Celebration. Rusev Day, they were calling it. Talk about the ego on this guy. So, in either case, they have this whole big mock-up ceremony. It's a good, you know what? It's a good opportunity to go take a piss. That's what it is. Okay? It's a good opportunity to go take a piss. And that's all it is. So, that being said, as Aiden English was singing Rusev Day, a song he composed, Orton came out of nowhere and, oh, well, I guess that's kind of cliched at this point, but Orton came out of nowhere and RKO'd Aiden English. Quite comical. I chuckled. And then, of course, he RKO's Rusev, and the Bulgarian Prime Minister, whoever the hell that fake Bulgarian person was, hightailed his ass out of the ring so that he wouldn't get RKO'd too. And Randy Orton would later put forth a challenge to face Rusev at Hell in a Cell. So I guess we're going to get Randy Orton versus Rusev at Hell in a Cell. So basically what we have there is we have a superstar who has been a great champion, and as much as I like Randy Orton, his career is on the decline. He's on his way down the hill, guys. He's not on his way up it anymore. His best days are behind him. So we got him going up against a guy who he would climb the hill, except he can't figure out which way is up. So this match at Hell in a Cell will again be a great opportunity for a piss break. So at least you know when to go use the bathroom when watching Hell in a Cell. So, moving forward from there, we are going to go right into Charlotte versus Carmella. All right, so Carmella comes out with James Ellsworth on a leash. She did this last week as well. Still a bit weird. I'm normally not one to, have a problem with wrestling being just a little bit. I don't want my wrestling to be like a cartoon. I do like my wrestling to be a little bit older, but I was in this instance very happy I was watching without my young daughter present, so I wouldn't have to explain why that woman had a man on a leash. I'm not on board for that one, okay? You want to wrap a steel chair around the little goblin's head? Go for it. Put him on a leash and let a bitch drag him around? I don't know. We're not dragging people around on leashes. It's not okay. But in either case, Charlotte beats Carmella, and Natalya comes out and cuts herself a little promo. We're obviously going to get Charlotte versus Natalya at Hell in a Cell. If I had to venture a guess, I would say that it will be a hell of a match. Charlotte will win the Women's Championship, and Carmella will cash in on Charlotte. Maybe. It's hard to predict these things, but that is definitely a possibility. It makes no sense for Carmella to cash in on Natalya, because Natalya is also a heel, and people don't like her. You don't want to cash in on somebody that people don't like, because, you want... a heel cashing on another heel is, it's like shooting the bottle rocket and nothing goes pop. You know what I mean? The heel should cash in on the babyface. That way, the people get mad. That's like, you want the reaction. So, that being said, moving forward from there, then, no. I couldn't believe my ears. A gong went off. And the lights went out. And I perked right up because I was like, wait a second, Undertaker? And then before I even saw the person, I realized what they were doing, and I got irritated. I might have said a few expletives. Everything that old Ziggles has done up to this point has been mostly harmless, little disrespectful, supremely arrogant. But this, he deserves to be slapped for this. You're going to walk out to Undertaker's music, act like you are Undertaker. Okay, first off, as soon as you see, if you didn't know what was happening before he walked out, you would have known immediately. He's walking too fast. His movements are too jerky. Like, have you ever even watched Undertaker do his entrance? You know? But it's not okay. I mean, it was a cheap heel spot. It really was, because, I mean, how else... I mean, what's better to get people mad at you than to make them think they're going to see Undertaker, and then they see, you know, the least talented male cheerleader from the Spirit Squad, you know. But Waldolph was carrying on and on and on about his BS. You know, Bobby Roode comes out. Never been so happy to see Bobby Roode in my life, I don't think. So, Bobby Roode comes out, and the long and short of it, he challenges Dolph Ziggler to a match at Hell in a Cell. Look forward to seeing that. I'm almost positive Roode is going to win that match, and so he should, because Dolph Ziggler sucks. Okay? Dolph Ziggler is horrible. There is a reason his 2 world title reigns don't add up to... what do they add up to? Like 2 days? Like, seriously. How long did he hold the world title for? I mean, it was a blink and you miss it title reign. And it was just so they could transition it from one guy to the other. You know, I'm not saying the guy is not athletically gifted. He's very athletically gifted. Just ask Amy Schumer. And that's the only time you'll ever hear me talk about Amy Schumer, because she's a disgusting cunt. But in either case, I'm going to move off of this topic before I start getting vulgar. So, to make a long story short, it will be Bobby Roode versus Dolph Ziggler at Hell in a Cell. Moving on from there, we got our Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens match, the main event. It was going back and forth. It was pretty good. It all came to a screeching halt when Kevin Owens powerbombed Sami Zayn onto the ring apron. We've seen him do this before. And the referee called off the match, tried to get Sami some medical attention. Kevin sat on the announce desk and waited for Sami and the medical crew to get into a position for him to do what he was supposed to do next, which was attack Sami Zayn from behind. So he attacks Sami Zayn. He goes, he gets himself a steel chair, he opens it up, puts it around Sami's head like he's going to run him into the ring post. And here comes the money. Shane McMahon comes out on the stage. Kevin calls him down, and Shane comes running. Kevin pushes Sami, steel chair and all, legs facing at Shane, right at Shane, slams into him. It looked like the chair leg missed Shane's face by like that much. And of course, you know, that's what he acted like it hit him in the face. I think if it really hit him in the face, he would have a hole in his face, but that's neither here nor there. Kevin takes a powder, he escapes through the crowd. How funny would it be if one of these days, when one of these fucking punks that escapes through the crowd just gets his ass beat by somebody in the crowd? That would be hysterical. I'd love that. I think I'd laugh for a month. I really think I would. But neither here nor there, that did not happen. So Kevin's out of there, and, you know, Shane's kind of standing there in the ring. We're going to see those two in a Hell in a Cell match at Hell in a Cell. Which, why is every match at Hell in a Cell not a Hell in a Cell match? Why the hell call it Hell in a Cell? Like, I don't get it. Anyways, now let's talk about Raw. So, Monday Night Raw opened with an episode of Miz TV. With The Miz, well, first off, he had to talk trash about Jason Jordan and Kurt Angle, and then he brought up Roman Reigns. And Roman pretty thoroughly insulted The Miz, but not before that happened. He did say that he respects John Cena now after their match at, the hell is the name of that show? Shit, I just did it too. Anyway, oh, No Mercy. So anyways, he insults Miz. Miz gets mad. Roman wants to fight. You know, Roman's just like, let's fight. And Miz doesn't want to fight. Miz tries to leave, and Kurt Angle comes out, and he makes some matches. He makes Roman Reigns versus The Miz, the main event of Raw, and he puts the Miz Taraj there, Axel and Dallas, into a match with Matt Hardy and Jason Jordan. So, the reason it was Matt Hardy and Jason Jordan is because Jeff Hardy is going to be needing shoulder surgery from a bad bump. Shoulder surgery. Excuse me. So that we go right into the tag match with Matt Hardy getting the pin on Bo Dallas. Moved into a Curt Hawkins promo where Curt Hawkins talks about how he's tired of being on a losing streak and he wants somebody to come out and make history by being the person who ends his losing streak. Braun Strowman comes out. His losing streak did not end. Strowman he puts Hawkins through a table and he then picks him up and just slams him through the LED board there at the on the stage. So then Braun goes down to the ring and says he wants a real fight. Then Dean Ambrose comes out. They do really want to make Ambrose look like an idiot. He came out and he put up a fight, but Strowman won, obviously. So then we move on to Kurt Angle backstage with Enzo. Enzo wanting his celebration, and Kurt giving it to him, and but Kurt told him, he's like, the way you won the title, I'm not sure that deserves a celebration, and then before Enzo leaves, this is one of the reasons why Enzo is making such a good heel these days. Right before Enzo leaves, Kurt goes, "Hey, that's your first championship, right? You want? How about some advice from the Hall of Famer?" Meaning he wanted to give Enzo some advice. Enzo looks at him and goes, "I'm good," and walks away. Like, seriously. Like, somebody slapped this little piece of crap. Like, how arrogant can you be? I mean, you basically got where you are on your mouth, and that's it. And you're going to tell a Hall of Famer, multiple-time champion, an Olympic gold medalist, nah, I got it figured out. Mind-blowing. So, from there, we go into Dean and Seth backstage, where Seth is trying to talk sense into Dean Ambrose. But instead, I think Dean Ambrose's mental illness is rubbing off on Seth Rollins, because Rollins basically says that next week on Raw, he's going to go ahead and have a match with Braun Strowman. Why? Why on earth would you go pick a fight with a grizzly bear? Like, seriously. That is like, that's like if you come across, let's say you're in the woods, you happen to come across Sasquatch, right? Are you going to pick up a stick and go whack him in the head with it? If you are, well, you might be an idiot. So we're going to move on from there. Seth Rollins acting like an idiot. Like I said, I think Dean Ambrose is a bad influence on him. So, from there we go into the... Alexa Bliss comes out, cuts her promo saying she ran through the entire women's division, and then Mickie James comes out. Mickie James taking exception to Alexa Bliss calling her an old lady on Raw Talk. So it was a rather amusing little back and forth there, with Alexa trying to backpedal her way out of the situation and everything else, and Mickie not really giving her that option. Eventually Mickie just laid Alexa out. So I have a feeling we might actually be seeing Mickie James versus Alexa Bliss at TLC. Whether or not Mickie will win, I doubt it, seeing as how Asuka is coming, and Asuka will be coming in as a babyface without a doubt, due to her popularity, and it only makes sense for Asuka to take that women's championship off of the top heel in the Raw women's division, that being Alexa Bliss. So as much as I may like Mickie James, I don't think she's winning her 7th women's championship. So That being said, we then move on to Seth Rollins versus Sheamus. We also got an update on Cesaro's situation. I was wrong. His teeth were not broken. His teeth got shoved up into his gums. That's worse. Like, imagine that. How much that had to hurt. And, you know, credit to him. He still finished the match at No Mercy. So I give Cesaro lots of credit. The man is tough. He also looks like a reverse chipmunk now, so we can have a good laugh about that, but maybe not, because it'll probably be fixed by the time Raw comes back again. But apparently he's going to need dental surgery in order to fix that one. So I don't think we're going to see Cesaro and Sheamus going after the tag titles again for a while. That being said, Rollins had a match with Sheamus. Rollins won the match against Sheamus. And then we go into the main event, which is Miz versus Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns wins the match. Surprise, surprise. But afterwards is jumped by Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. And, you know, and The Miz. And they beat Roman up pretty good. Leading to Kurt Angle to make it so that next week on Raw, it will be Roman Reigns versus The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. I'm not sure how they get out of this one with Miz still having his Intercontinental title unless they have Miz get disqualified, which they might do. So we're going to have to wait and see on that one. If they do put the Intercontinental Championship on Roman, I'll be surprised because I expected it to go on to Jason Jordan. That being said, it would be nice to see Roman actually pay some dues and win a title other than a world title. I mean, seriously, the guy came out of the Shield and they basically just said, "Here you go, kid." And, you know, I always thought it was better when we watched a superstar rise up through the ranks, paying their dues and, you know, having to go, you know, the tag titles or the singles title and make their way up. If you think about it, all the great champions of the past did it. I mean, even John Cena, U.S. title first. Okay? Stone Cold Steve Austin, Intercontinental title first. The Rock, Intercontinental title first. Shawn Michaels, Intercontinental title first. Are you seeing a pattern here? Bret Hart, Intercontinental title first. You know, shit. Oh, Steve Austin won the United States title first too, but that was in WCW, so I don't know if we want to count that. Booker T, United States title first. I'm running out of examples here, but you get my point. So, that being said, I don't know what they're going to do next week, but I'm anxious to find out. We then went backstage to Kurt Angle and Enzo Amore again. Enzo wanting to get the clause that dictates that if anybody touches him, they will lose their shot at the Cruiserweight title. And Kurt gives it to him. And then Enzo comes out, and Enzo runs his mouth like a decrepit, deformed man-child, just completely and totally spewing garbage from the orifice in his face. And all of the cruiserweights come out. And then Neville comes out. And Neville cuts a promo on Enzo, and Neville comes down to the ring. And Enzo does say one thing that, whether anybody likes it or not, is true. Because he tells Neville, "Hey, what time is it? It's the 3rd hour of Raw. Main event time of Raw. Before me, you never even sniffed this hour." And he's right about that. He is right about that. But, it didn't stop Neville from beating the crap out of him. And then we found out, of course, on 205 Live that after the camera stopped rolling, Braun Strowman came out and squished him twice. And then all the cruiserweights took turns using him as a piñata. And from what I understand, when they cracked open Enzo's head, no candy came out, no brains came out, nothing came out. So, take that for what it's worth. I am Ken Carnage, and until next time, Carnage is right around